Hi, everyone, and welcome to 50 Now What? I'm your host, Alicia Sutton. I am so excited to share this very special episode with you, a conversation with some of my dear friends. Today, I welcome three incredible women, Jessica Bodiford, Keisha Williams, and Elizabeth Pope, onto the show to discuss love, relationships, family, upcoming holiday plans, and what we're manifesting for 2024 and much more. It was such a joy to sit with these people who are so special to me and share the kind of conversation that we'd be having around the dinner table at home. We have a lot to say. Let's jump into it. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Good morning.
Hi.
If you can't tell, I'm super excited. I have been looking for an excuse to have an episode like this with good people, with friends. And this was like the perfect time to do that as we get out of the fun and frolic of the summer, leading into the holiday season where all these other things come up. So I'm glad to have you. And for my listeners who have been tuned into 50 Now What podcast, you know I'm a big fan I'm actually a big proponent of synchronicity and having people come into your life for a reason and a purpose at a certain time. And each one of these ladies are definitely an exemplar of that. My first guest is Keisha. Keisha, dedicated school teacher and friend of mine for over 20 years now, right, Keisha? I think I have the years right. I know it was sometime in the 90s.
Yeah. So it's over 20 years.
Well over 20 years. And she, once I told her I was going to be doing a podcast, she's been a big supporter of the podcast and support as well as good friend. So, but you know, over 20 years, you see each other evolve through a number of things. And we've gotten to this place in our lives where we can really share true things about what's happening with us because we've phased through so many things. So Keisha, thank you for being a good friend and being on the podcast today. My next guest is Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth, hey Liz, marketing project manager, and we met over, it's been over a year ago now. It was at the Black Podcasters Conference down in Atlanta, and I have to tell the story of how we met in that parking lot. Do you remember?
Girl,
you were
don't eat, girl.
I got we met in a parking lot at this conference when you were on your way back to your car because you weren't allowed to enter.
I had like a grown up, but someone in our conference had like with that peanut allergy or something. And I was just like, wait a minute, a lot of us have several different allergies. And of course, this was in the height of the pandemic, COVID-19 and everything. And so I was just like, this is weird. This is okay. Yeah. I know, but that's how we connected in the parking lot. It was just...
That's how we connected. I don't know if we would have met if you had been gotten sent back to your car for, contraband peanuts. So I don't know.
I know I did feel a little hostage. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
thank
absolutely.
you so much. You was warning me. You was like, you ain't got snacks in your purse, do you? Because they sending us back. Heads up.
Strict policy.
And so we ended up, it was so funny. So we ended up coming back to the conference where we met my next guest, Jessica. We met at the same conference, and she is a theater and podcasting producer, director, writer, author. She does it all. And it was actually Jessica, if I recall, at the end of that conference who said, let's share our information and stay in touch, and basically put us on a schedule so that we could have Zoom calls and keep us on task so that I could get this podcast together. And it worked. And so I'm glad to have you guys still here in my life. And it's been very consistent. Stuff like this doesn't happen all the time. And I'm glad to introduce you to Keisha, bring her in to our little triad here. And it's so much fun. And I knew we'd make a really good conversation today. So let's just jump in and get started. We're going to do the update because we have to do the update when we talk about relationships. And you guys know I've been trying to get back out there. It's tough. But love, relationships, or platonic, wherever you fall at. So let's start with Keisha. What's going on, Keisha?
Keisha is very
right,
single.
in the house.
I'm single. And I'm single. Yeah, that's what it is.
Are you single and ready to mingle, or are you just single?
I think I'm single and ready to mingle.
Oh, yes. Okay. Don't leave me out here alone, Keisha.
But I don't think I have the patience to go through all of what you have to go through. I was on the dating apps, but what you see online and what you see in person are two different things.
They really are.
They're two
They
different
really are.
things.
I agree. I have to check myself sometimes because you know me, I like even when I check my own stuff, you know, I enjoy my own company. So, you know, I'm good with grabbing my Starbucks and, you know, follow up with, you know, searching for candles all day. You know how it go down for me at Bath and Body Works. And but actually, and I, you know, that doesn't always necessarily translate well on a dating app profile. How do you spin that that's the type of thing that you like to do? I don't know. I'm working through it too, Keisha. You're not alone.
I mean, just the physical descriptions of people. But I've come to learn if they have on a hat, if they're smiling without showing their teeth, if they're always seated, you know, those are signs. Like, take the hat off because your hairline starts back here. It's nothing wrong with that, though. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but just own it. Own it. But let me see that. And then if you're missing teeth, let me see that. If you're not 6'2", say that, but don't say you're 6'2" on your profile. And then when I see you, you're 5'2", like me. And that's, you know, say that. Because I know we're all getting older and I get it, but just own it. Own it because I could be okay with it. I could be the person that's okay with that. I wouldn't be okay if you're 5'2" and I'm 5'2", but everything else.
You got to be 5'4" at least. What were you saying, Jessica?
Oh, what I was saying is I have a friend who's going back into the dating scene, and she said that she feels the dating websites are purposely putting people who are not really matches together because they can continue having clients. And I was like, kind of sounds true to me. If y'all get married, they don't have any more clients.
Yeah, I can agree with that because some people, the matches that I receive, I'm like, this looks like somebody that'll snatch me up in a van and I'll never be seen again. It's like,
They look like a kidnapper.
yeah, I was like, this is not
Stranger
anybody
danger.
I would link up with. Not even passing them in the grocery store. I'd almost be scared, like, are you going to snatch me in this van and I'll never be seen again?
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I've seen some of the matches I get matched with, and it just seems very odd, or they'll delay it. It's like, okay, I know this isn't the one match. Like, they want you to do kind of like one at a time. We'll start you off here with someone who probably you might be able to have a good conversation with, but not likely, or they live so far away. It's like, I thought I'd narrowed this down to like at least a 30-mile radius. And I'm like, I'm not driving all the way up there to see you. I'm glad you're my perfect match, but no. So yeah, I think your friend is onto something. I think an investigation needs to be done. I'm on point with that.
I agree with that.
Point with that.
And I wish we could go back to like our parents when they were dating. They had friends. Hey, I know this guy at my job. He's single. Maybe I can hook you up with him. And we done ran him through the church questions. He works. He don't have no criminal record. He got a job. Yeah. The church will do that for free. And then y'all can meet. But it doesn't work anymore. Have times changed.
I mean, changed to the point where we're kind of like, I wish things was the way it was back then. That's a full circle moment. But it did work out better back then. And you absolutely got to know someone because they were a part of your circle. The family knew who it was. Everybody kind of knew what was going on. But I do feel this way, though. I do feel that as I've gotten older, I don't feel the same pressure, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? I'm not feeling like there's no pressure to get married, have a kid. You know, there's a different social responsibility, I think, when we're much younger, that being in the content and context of a relationship and a marriage are essential because you're trying to grow a family or have kids. And now outside of that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So this whole process is dredging as it is. I'm like, I'm good. If I meet you now, that's fine. Of course, now I'm going to be looking a lot closer at this app conspiracy because I think it's true. I do think it's true. I really do think it's true. Elizabeth, you've been quiet.
Girl, I'm
Boom,
giggling.
boom.
I'm giggling. struggling because I'm in support. I'm like Keisha, I'm single, but if I'm ready to mingle, we're gearing up for the holidays and everything else, I'm very focused on my job and on my pursuits, my interests, and not really into, and it's the time factor. I really do not have the time or the commitment to, really establish or any type of relationship because it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. And I just don't have that right now. I'm just not there. I don't know if I'll be there for 2024 either, but right now I'm just kind of really focused on me and my relationships and friendships from family or friends and, even online, that people we meet, to really cultivate that. And so I'm just not in that headspace, even though people are like, well, shouldn't you be with somebody? No, maybe I need to be with me for like a couple of minutes. Okay. It'll be there.
Elizabeth, do you remember at the podcasting festival that guy?
Oh, yes.
The guy who had lost a lot of weight?
Oh, yes.
He was after Elizabeth. Elizabeth was kind of like, shrug.
Liz.
Shrug.
I know. He was a cool guy, had his own podcast and everything. And he was really encouraging of us to, start our own.
But he was encouraging of us because you were in the group.
Yeah, we was just peripheral.
Right.
Yes. We were.
Y'all too funny. Yeah, y'all.
I got to be nice to her friends. I think for some reason everybody thought we already knew each other.
I know.
Or were related in some way. And basically he was just like, okay, I got to be cool with them so I can stay in there. He followed us all back to the parking lot. I was like,
security guard. He was trying to show his Southern charm. We were in Atlanta, but y'all, friend, okay? Online. We'll follow each other online. Yeah, online.
But I think there's something to say about having male friends. It's been, believe it or not, years ago, and probably when I was much younger, I had a lot more male friends. Now, I don't know what their intentions were, but I enjoyed having male friends. They were like, and especially if you wanted, so if they were genuine and you could get all the good information about what other guys were doing. It was like, well, he told me such and such. That mean he don't like you. You know what I mean? It would be that kind of thing, that kind of very real thing, and someone who you could count on to do guy things. But I don't know if mutual platonic relationships are as popular as they used to be. I don't know if the intentions have changed or people's attention span have changed or what. Do you guys still have just male platonic friends?
Yeah, I have some. I do. Yeah, one or two. But yeah, you're right. It's shifting and change, I think, because of what we're seeing maybe online or so-and-so's doing this. And now you're like, wait a minute, we just cool. But I just think people's interests and their mind frame, I don't care at any age, 25, 45, it's just different. And I think we don't have those same principles, I think, or those still same. It's just out the window, and some guys are maybe view you just differently. And so they want that and a bag of chips. And you're like, wait a minute, I just wanted to be cool. Just wanted you to be a listening ear for that, for that moment. So
like,
I have a few though.
Girl.
I know.
Forget that listening ear.
I know. You're so right. They want something else. I know.
They want something else.
Yeah, I've always been a girl's girl.
Yeah.
I've always been a girl's girl, so I never really had guy friends. But my friends, their husbands or boyfriends would become part of the group. But I never had guy friends. I think it's because I was raised in like an all-woman environment. So one of my friends called me the woman whisperer.
The woman whisperer. What does that mean?
It means that, so my sister, my mom, my cousins, girl cousins, and like I only have like 2 guy cousins. I don't have, we are all so different that I'm used to all the different faces that a woman can put on. And I'm not like scared or intimidated or disappointed. It's just like people just trying to make it. World is hard. And the world is hard on girls and women. And I learned that from an early age.
I love that. I never really thought about it like that. I think I grew up with an older brother and a lot of, I guess, male energy around. So I kind of became more of a bit of a tomboy, a little bit more alpha, fairly young. And I realized the not just the power, but the the comfort in having more female friends as I got older and was going through a lot of other things. And my closest female friend when I was young was actually my mom. So that was a very different relationship and different dynamic. But it was only as and I have not been the woman whisperer. I don't think so. I definitely don't have that knack. But I don't know, as I've grown older, like this right now, this 20 years ago probably wouldn't have happened to just have a solid group of female friends or women friends to kind of have these kind of conversations with. And I'm finding a lot more comfort in that as I've gotten older. So I don't know. Keisha, how was your growing up?
I have two friends that I'm very close to. Just talking about one of them. I think the two of us have been friends for like 39, 40 years. And then the other one, I met her 2 years later. And we've been friends ever since. We've never had any serious fight. We've been very supportive of each other. You know, I like that that's somebody who I can tell anything to. You know how you got to tell some people, don't say nothing, but ABC.
I know.
Don't say nothing. and then this is not one I need to do that with. Any and everything. They're like sisters to me. I had a sister growing up. However, she passed away when I was 13. She had cancer. She was 10 years older than me. So these two women kind of stepped in and became sisters to me. And so I've told them we don't even see each other a lot. And we live in the city of LA, but it's difficult for the three of us to get together. Both of them have kids. And so, you know, you got to take the kids here, there, and everywhere. But I told them if anything happened to any one of us, I think we would do what needs to be done to be there for each other. So I think that's important. And then, you know, I have other friendship circles as well that are supportive ladies, people I've met in college. You know, you're going to meet the people you meet in college are your friends for a lifetime, you know. And then I have some I've met in grad school and beyond. And then joining a sorority, I've been able to make friends for life. And they're all around the United States. And that's a blessing. That's truly a blessing. And I cherish the friendships. No matter how long we've known each other, I cherish all friendships.
I think that's beautiful, Keisha. And it's so funny because I keep my, like I said, I've known you for just half of that time. And I know how important those roles are. And one of the things I do actually is I have such a small circle so that when I do bring people in, they are very endearing to me. And so, like I said, over this last couple years, actually, I've made myself a lot more open. And of course, having retired and going into a completely different space, this is completely different for me. I think it's made me a lot more open to having closer and more significant female friendships in my life. And so that's, you know, and I'm so grateful for that. I think it has allowed me to grow in a way that I don't know that I would had I continued on the same life path, let's just call it that I had been on for a number of years before I retired. How is everyone else growing in their relationships? Are things getting easier as you've gotten older, or are we just kind of like, I've got all the friends I need, I'm in the space I need to be in, I'm good, I'm riding this out to the end? Is it just me, or as we've moved around in our lives and things like that?
For me, friendships have gotten easier. I mean, because it's like you can immediately tell now when that you connect with somebody, and you don't feel the pressure to have to put on a face and pretend that you want to be there or anything. So I find that relationships are easier now. And also, I think I understand better that there's different types of relationships. You know, you have people who are in your close circle. You got people that you hang out with. You got people that you do business with. You got people, you know, different roles for different people. Everybody can't be everything. So, and I just don't expect that much from people anymore. I don't think I ever have, but really now I really don't.
Oh, that is...
What does that mean?
So your expectations must have changed, right? You outgrow friendships
Are they
too.
lower?
Yeah, or no?
No, it's not even that. It's like, you know, one of my friends told me the reason, so I've lived in different countries in the world, right? And one of my friends told me, she's like, you know, Jessica, you know what I like about you? You just don't have any expectations. Like when we talk, it's like, oh, we just talked yesterday, even though we haven't talked for 6 months. The thing is like, I can't expect all these things from people when I don't even have the same phone number, every year. Every year my phone number changes, right? Because I'm someplace new. But my friends, they're starting businesses, they're having babies, they're doing all the, getting married or retiring or doing something new in their life. I can't expect them to have the same amount of communication with me that they had before. They have new things happening. So that's what I mean when I say that I don't expect as much because it's not realistic. And also it's like just to give people grace and give myself grace. I can't keep up with you all the time. I just can't.
I get it.
I just can't.
That is an awesome point to be made. I think that, and I get it. Now that you've explained, I'm like, yeah, that's true. It's like, if I get to see you, that's great. If you got life going on, that's fine. No pressure. If you can't return a text message, it's fine. You know what I mean? But I get it. I absolutely get that. And I think that is part of just an acceptance level of getting older and your own level of security as a person.
But it's like, you remember when I asked you to help me record something and then yesterday you were like, oh my gosh, Jessica.
I did
was
feel
like,
bad for that.
You told me that day that you were going to fly out. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Like that. You can't do anything when you're about to fly.
I think I was more embarrassed than
It's
anything
all right.
else.
Had you not brought it up, I would have totally forgot about it. Totally I was so past that moment. I was like, she's still on that? Okay.
Here's the thing. I think to me, I do like to, when I make a commitment to something, I like to keep it. And if something had changed, I would have liked to have told you, I'm sorry, I can't make it.
But you also told me that.
Okay, yeah, I accept it. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I love you for doing that. Anyway, thank you for the grace. Well, since we're talking about this, we're moving into the holidays. You remember, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I remember there used to be this intensity about the holidays and family and making sure that we get everything just right for the holidays. And I'm gauging now from the room that that's just not even an issue anymore. Everybody is so past it.
Over it.
Nice.
All right. Hashtag.
Over
okay.
it.
I know.
Christmas is for the kids. Christmas is for the kids, okay?
If you want to help me out with something, help me out with the house note.
Ooh,
I know that's right.
real bills. Lovely bills.
Real,
Okay.
real bills. I don't need the Barbie dream truck. I need help me out with a big bill.
You don't want the Barbie dream truck?
No, I don't want the Barbie dream house. I don't need fuzzy socks.
Ooh, because we got enough of, we got a box full of those because that's easy on the list now. We can check that off on the list. Them socks now. We gotta.
So I like to buy gifts I know people will use, but I mean, somebody will use some fuzzy socks. Somebody will use some. I just don't know who that person is.
I think I'm good. I have so much stuff that I have just compiled over the years. I'm good with just, either taking a trip or going to do something else, seeing family just to say hello. I actually prefer to see family outside of the holidays. I don't know about you guys.
It's easier too.
It's just a lot easier. And I think the whole oldness of that whole thing, especially post-COVID, I don't think anybody really cares. It's like, it's just not that big of a deal. Everybody's kind of, maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'll get some listeners who say, what are you talking about? What is wrong with you and your friends? But it just feels a lot more self-sovereign. It took a lot of the pressure off. Like you can be okay, with just hanging out and dropping in and saying hi to everybody and moving forward.
Or just coming by to partake of a charcuterie board and wine. And we can chit chat. That's that. I'm good with that. I'm very good. I can do that. Everybody can bring a particular charcuterie board.
Or a dish or something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And we can just eat on that, snack on that, and watch a movie or something, or just chit chat. And I'd be good. It's not a problem.
Completely agree. I think too, when I was a kid, I used to love Christmas because I got presents. Now I don't really what are you gonna get me that I'm like pinning for? Like I need this, But also I think when I look at some of the kids today, they have so much stuff They don't need anything. They're not pinning for anything. They don't care. It's like maybe 2 days worth of, ooh, that was cool. And then they're moving on to something else. I don't know. I think Christmas is about, or any of these holidays, it's about spending time with your family, going out, just having experiences. The gift thing is not, it's not it anymore. It really isn't.
I agree. And I think, too, a lot of people got over because I was always feeling like, even if there wasn't any pressure to have to get gifts, but they're starting the holidays like in October. I mean, the end of September, it's like, they're changing out everything from all of a sudden you seeing holiday stuff pull out the boxes. And I'm like, really? It's like it takes a long time to actually get to it. It's like it used to be. Was it me? I was like,
yeah, you really looked forward to the holidays, but now it's a business, very commercialized.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Straight up capitalism.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel marketed. Like I'm part of some marketing group as to what it is I'm going to need. And I feel like I'm being played. I feel like I'm being played out. I do. And it made it a lot difficult. Now when I do think back though, even before, one of the things I do get nostalgic about every now and again is, and I don't know how you guys were around the holidays, it was a time at least to be around family, and you spend a lot of time just being around family, whether it was, cooking and having that whole mood before it felt like a bunch of gift giving. Sometimes I get a little nostalgic for that, but that's life. Everyone's moved on and you can't really recreate that. And I think sometimes people are feeling like, okay, I need to try to recreate what my childhood was as opposed to just being in the moment of what your adulthood is right now. And like Keisha said, being able to just, hey, we can just pull out the the charcuterie board, somebody pull up a pork soup. I love that, actually.
And somebody just pull up.
Yeah,
and we can
easy cleanup too.
Yes, correct.
Easy cleanup.
Not a production, because back in the day, as you know, we were laying it all out. I mean, over the stove, cooking and cleaning, and we got to have so-and-so. Yeah, them greens and the pie, sweet potato pie and pecan pie, just like real productions. And you're like, no, and I think we've lost. It was a lot of work, but now that we've kind of moved into a different era, you're just noticing like, kind of like, what do you want and who do you want to prefer, that time to be with? But the holidays is just shifted and it's just changing in a way that hopefully it'll get better because it, like you said, Alicia, it's just can be stressful. You just kind of lose the real true meaning about, behind that. And it's just different. But yeah, back in the day, it was a production, all hands on deck. You got to clean, you got to, take off work to just a pre-plan, and so-and-so is coming over, got to be placed like this. The bathroom got to be ready. And so we got to pick so-and-so, got to be ready, pick them up from the airport. I mean, it was like a schedule, but it could be very stressful on that one person because during the holidays, we would always travel. And so that was our thing. So we didn't have to really cook. We were always like just showing up. We were the show up family. But we did see the pre-stuff that people had to deal with, take off work and clean this up. And can you pick up this 7-Up or this whatever, like you said, dish. But yeah, it was a production, y'all. Real production.
So you didn't have to spend 2 days making dressing. Because I remember I had chopping
that turkey though.
The cucumber or the cranberry sauce. Ooh, the real cranberries, because we're very particular. Yeah, particular about that too.
Wow. So are you traveling? Anybody getting out for the holidays, just getting away? Everybody just kind of sitting close? No, everybody's like, yeah, no, not going to happen.
Well, usually Christmas, I travel to see family since my immediate family, we're spread out. So we usually travel to see my sister. She's out in Richmond, Virginia. But still, last year's travel, I was part of that Southwest flight debacle. I was praying to see if I was even going to get out of Columbus. I mean, y'all, it was like, am I going to make it to see my family for Christmas? Like, even them, they were like,
were you stuck in the airport?
And did you make it?
I did on Christmas Day, but still, I was technically supposed to leave a couple of days. I like to leave before, like maybe like the 23rd, 22nd to get to somewhere, not usually the day of Christmas, because that's like one of the, busiest, traveling days, just trying to get there. But y'all, with the computer system shut down, the flight attendants, they can only do a certain amount of flight hours, the pilot. So I was like, my family was like, you gonna make it? Do you want to I was kind of like, maybe I'll just stay at home. Maybe and even just trying to get to the airport. So, but I usually for Christmas travel, but during Thanksgiving, just stay at home, which I'm fine with that. I love it. And just show up, and usually I get invited to a dinner or something or a lunch. I'm happy with
I
it.
don't even
Easy.
get any invites anymore.
You don't?
And then get a plate. Get you a plate.
That's right. To go plate.
Just get a plate.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's me. I think I dropped off the people. So Alicia not gonna show up. So
No, I don't think people are doing stuff. I don't think people are doing stuff like that. No.
Okay. It just depends. Yeah.
No, it's like, you remember that you used to get Christmas cards?
Oh.
Are people still sending out Christmas cards?
Businesses, but friends.
Yeah, here and there.
Right. Yeah.
Businesses.
Yeah.
But before, there used to be, like I said, I've been outside of the country for a little bit, but I feel like Christmas cards used to be
like highlight.
thing.
Yes. On the fridge.
That's when you knew the season was coming, when you got your first holiday card.
Right.
But stamps are damn near $2 now, so nobody trying to see.
nobody mailing that.
Then it's going to take 3 weeks to get there.
Yeah, that's right. During the pandemic, we weren't getting our stuff on time. We were still delayed after delay.
Still delayed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, are we still like traumatized by the pandemic?
I think that's what it is. I think that's what,
I think so. I think it did set a different little tone. I do. And I know some people are like, we need to go back into a shutdown. I think some people might be missing the solitude that came with.
Yes.
I think
yes.
It's a thing.
It was peaceful, girl. Peaceful.
Look.
Oh no. No, I can't do that.
Because some of us, we were ripping and running. Jessica, some of us were ripping and running, girl. I was ripping and running to the chat.
No.
Yeah. It just depends, though. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but we did like virtual Thanksgiving holiday stuff. We did a lot of virtual Zoom team calls. I know it's not the same. But I was in the luxury of my home.
Serious,
luxury of my place. Luxury of my heat in the house. Not no.
You know what? This is something I discovered during the pandemic. I thought I was a real introvert. Like, I'm an introvert. But even when I saw the memes of introverts, I was like, they sound like they need therapy. Like I couldn't relate to the memes. That's what I was like, that's not a real introvert. I'm a real introvert. But I don't think I'm a true introvert.
Ambivert.
I like hanging out with myself. I really do. But I also like being around people. But when I go out, I'll find like those 3 people and just, there'll be a party of like 50 and I'll just talk to 3 people and I'm good. I'm not wandering around being a social butterfly. So, but I do want to talk to those 3 people and I can't do that at home.
That's
what are you
true.
talking about? I'm not going back to
That's
the lockdown.
true.
No.
Oh, wow. COVID for me, I think it changed my entire perspective. It really did change my whole perspective for the better. I absolutely believe that. And I have to, it's been a thing. I've heard people on more than one occasion be like, we need another shutdown. And I think it was because I'm not crazy, right? Lakeisha laughing. Come on with.
I think we need a balance to that shutdown.
Do you agree with them, Keisha? Keisha, do you agree with them?
No, Alicia.
I don't know if we need a complete shutdown. I don't know.
I love
But
my company.
I was loving it because I got a lot accomplished in the house, fine-tuned my bartending skills. I was like, okay, I was using stuff in the house. I'm like, let me shake this up. Yeah, let me figure out what this is. I was cooking more. I was out in the backyard working with the plants because I had the time. So I did it. But now I got battle traffic and all this stuff. So now.
See, so is it that you want to shut down or you want to work remotely?
I think I would love to work remotely, but my profession, I'm not able to. We were forced to, but I don't think it did the students any good. But I can't. I'm unable to. But let me tell you, if there was a way to do it and they needed a test group, it would be, I'd be like, please pick me, please.
You're in the pilot program.
Yes, I'm in the pilot program. That would straight be me.
It definitely changed me. I think it definitely switched my life path. It definitely I mean, I was in a space where I couldn't, like I said, it caused me to actually take a different stock, change it, make a different direction, really change my whole perspective on my life and where it was going and the value in where I was placing my energy for my life. I think that's what it was. It was because everything around me shut down. And I don't know if, I guess I'm a bit of an empath. I take in a lot of sensory stuff. So when things are happening, I can usually pick up on them very easily. If things are happening, I'm like, okay, this is going on. And I'm always able to project that, okay, something's about to happen. And so when everything kind of shut down and I could kind of quiet everything else out, it was like, oh, this is what this is. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can do without that. I started to see all the things that I didn't necessarily need. And I think it was maybe not so much because it was a shutdown. I think it was the quiet that ensued from it, changed my entire perspective and trajectory. Would I do the same in another shutdown? Probably not, because I'd be, doing this podcast. I'd still be on the phone. I'd still be doing a lot of other stuff. But there were a lot of things that I let go, that I really let go of. And of course, I retired, and here we are now, over a year later, something completely different that I don't think anyone would have expected from me at this point. But I'm looking at Keisha because it's like, yeah, probably, because you're probably going, yeah, I didn't see you doing this, Alicia. But
you kind of gave little hints. It was
she was
little.
speaking into existence. Yes.
It was little, just from time to time.
Yeah.
Just little hints.
Okay. I didn't know I was flagging myself, but that's what that brought about for me, and it just changed my whole perspective. And I don't think I'm different from a lot of other people, but so maybe you're right. Maybe we do know like a hybrid / COVID shutdown / just working from home type thing. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. We'll see. And I certainly don't want to put anything out in the universe that would, it all put us in a space like that again with sick and illness and stuff like that. But I think that was just trying to take the positive spin on it. So ladies, what does 2024 look like? All said and done. Anybody got any, or is it just going to be a continuation? Is 2023 so good that we're just going to move on through
I don't
it?
know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not saying it's bad. Could it have been better? Of course. And I'm hoping it will be better. I would like to increase the number of stamps on my passport
Okay.
by any means necessary.
And you already have a lot.
Okay. I would like to get more. I would like to go to different places. I would just really like to travel. That makes me happy. To have a travel booth, that could work too, but you got to travel.
That really wants to, hang out, try different spots, foods, destinations, because everybody can't travel now. That's what I've learned over time. Regardless of experience and age, they got to know how you want to flow and go and catch those flights, So yeah, I'm with you. So, they got to want to, the desire to. That's the thing. So, but they don't have the, some people they claim they do, but when you hang out with people, it's just like, okay, I can get that boo, but they got to be up. They got to let you know what's up. So
yeah. So I would just like to continue to travel. I would like to do that. I would also like to help parents in my field of special education. I would like to make them more knowledgeable of the special ed process. So, I would like to help parents because I think if they were more knowledgeable about the process and what is required to allow a student to be successful, we would have a lot of successful students because it's a home and school. It takes the home and school, not just home and not just school, but both to support the child.
So continuing a life of service and travel.
Correct. Well said, Alicia. Service and travel. That is correct.
Service and travel. I love it. What's the plan, Elizabeth? What you got? What's 2024 looking like?
Oh, Lord. Plans? Yeah, this is a continuation, from 2023. I felt like I'm always pivoting, changing. This year, I started a new role as a marketing project manager and just learning all things working in a marketing agency. And that's really been my focus, and but also too, I'm big on being a lifelong learner and just understanding, building my skill set, if that means taking a course online. But then also too, I do a lot of things, writing different content pieces around, especially on LinkedIn, around DEI, leadership development, project management, just also sharing my stories and experiences having to pivot during a pandemic. And so just being brave to speak about those changes, but then also to just being vocal about it, but being that encouraging person to do that. But just continue to growing and continue to know that we kind of outgrow things, because I was in higher education for over 15 years, and just knowing that you can change, you can pivot, and you can do something different. And so I'm learning that as we continue to grow and age in our professions, but then we're just learning through that. So that's what I'm looking forward to in 2024. So
2025. Jessica, you got what you doing? What you doing for 2024?
Oh my goodness. Recently I was just like thinking about like, just how do I go about, and this is concerning my career. No matter where I go, I find the artists. I am an artist, so I find them. It's easy. And I support other people's work with the work that I do. As I do service, there's this thing called Theater for Development to help communicate ideas so people can change their behaviors for the better. Loved it. Loved that era of my life, but that era is over. It's time for me to go into commercial theater.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's business, and that's not my forte. I have an MBA, and I'm still like, business is, so what I hope to do next year is really start to make friends with business people who can show me the ropes about, like, how do you start a business? How do you bring people on board? How do you keep it sustainable? But from the things that I learned from other parts of my life, I want my business to be something where the people who work with me are proud to be there, they have ownership, and that I treat them with respect, I've worked in places where you have a bunch of smart people, but for whatever reason, the respect is not there. The business is not well run. And it's like, oh, just because you're smart doesn't mean automatically that you're going to run a great business. It's something you have to do intentionally. So that is what I'm doing for 2024, figuring out how to create a business that is commercial, that, that I'm proud of and the people who work with me are proud of.
I don't know about you. I think that it won't be an easy process, but I could totally see you making that happen, getting through the whatever hurdles will lie ahead, because business is tough. But yeah, I can see you making that happen. I can see all of you making that happen and seeing it come through. For me, I think you'll just be seeing more episodes of the podcast. I'm so comfortable where I'm at right now, and I'm just so happy to share this platform with people, and that it's making a difference in a way that I hope that it's making a difference. The point and purpose of it was to make a difference, not just to have idle chatter. So I'm thinking that will be the next thing. I think we can. Was there anything else? What else is going on with anybody? I know I'm going to go ahead and mention it, because she is a humbled one, if I can, Jessica. The new children's book.
Awesome! That's amazing!
It's out.
Yeah, it's out.
She gonna say, she said.
Did you say the name of it?
Oh, I'm going to say the name. It's called, it's a play guide for people who want to put on a nativity play for the holidays. And it's called The Christmas Adventure, an interactive nativity play for children ages 4 to 8. So you can find it on Amazon. And it's just, it's a play guide. So if you know nothing about theater, know nothing about acting, it takes you step by step. It has a rehearsal schedule, has all these little things to help people who might not feel comfortable on the stage. So you don't have to be into acting. And the best part about it is the children get to participate in the show, but they don't have to memorize any lines. They don't have to attend any rehearsals. So,
no rehearsals.
No, you come in, you do 2 hours of rehearsals with the adult actors or the teen actors, volunteer actors, and then you put on the show, and that's it.
That works for adults.
I think so too. I mean, as
Oh,
you were
yeah, it does.
describing it step by step, I said, wait a minute. Yeah.
Because I can't remember no lines. I
Me
cannot
neither.
remember lines. My memory
yeah.
is ridiculous. I love
That's
that.
what it is.
I love
Mhm.
that.
So it's going to be a series. I'm going to do for more, maybe for like Easter, maybe something for the summer, So there will be more coming out. I'm just saying that to hold myself accountable.
She sure does say that, Alicia. She does. She be trying to help. You got it
Right, 'cause
done.
you know how I
That's
am.
accountable.
You guys know how I am.
But you do get it done, though. You do get it done.
What about that podcast I was supposed to get done?
Okay, you started it out. It's okay. But
I did.
You
I
said-
did.
it's okay.
We didn't have enough Zoom calls.
It's okay. But we on the one right now. Hey, it's accomplishment. We on one right
That's
now.
Right. Step one.
Hey, that was on my vision board. Let's be on a podcast. I didn't know I was going to get.
Oh, it was?
Yes, seriously.
was?
I think it was last year, but really this year too. Like, hey, because sometimes you don't have these opportunities, and you have a platform, and you were able to say, hey, I would like for you guys to be guests, and so I think this served as a great opportunity. It was really 2023, but or 2022, after we met after our podcast conference. But this was a good, opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I was able to do this. So I appreciate that invitation, and it's an opportunity to speak up and be around, like, to use your voice. So I thought I want to say, so we accomplished something, y'all. Don't forget, we did. So maybe not sometimes how you want it to be, but hey, a lot of people, they can't say they've been on a podcast. I think that's an accomplishment. And so
You're right about that.
we really did before, the new year. And so I think that serves as something, you're speaking about, your experiences. And I think you, Alicia, you did that here today for us. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I didn't know that was on your vision board.
It was.
I really didn't.
It was really 2020, but hey, accomplished, and many more to come. So
And I always wanted to know how a podcast works. I still want to ask you questions, Alicia, because I'm amazed at this. Like, how did you get us all together? And what is Riverside? And how did you hook up with Steven? But that's another
conversation.
episode.
Yeah, part 2 now.
Yeah, but
Behind the scenes.
it's all very interesting.
It has been a journey. And I think that, and, as Jessica was saying, I know a big part of how this came about was because of the types of friendships that I developed over the years, some older, some newer, as with, Jessica and Elizabeth. But putting together that Zoom call that we were doing those very frequently, and talking it out, talking to Keisha and talking to people about, this is something I think I'm going to be doing. And I think it was throwing some people off, actually brought it through to fruition to where it is today. So even though it may not have done the same thing for yours, Jessica, I think that will happen, because I think we're going to have to step up these Zoom calls on you.
Yes, I know, that's right. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
you guys do. For real. Hold me accountable.
2024, we bring
We're
it
going
back
to hold
now.
you more accountable.
I'm trying to think of what's the block. Because obviously, like, you guys listen to the episodes
It was
when
awesome.
they're in their
Yeah.
draft. And I'm just like, what's the block? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out,
That's why we come here to
Figure
hold
it out.
One of the things that I think is interesting about being grown, I remember there was a 20-year-old who put up on like, oh, when I turn 30, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. And then there were like 30-year-olds were like, who's going to tell her? Like, it's not going to work out like that. Like, she ain't going to know.
I don't know no better,
Like,
okay?
yeah, you are still trying to figure things out.
Yes.
And I think that, because I'm like, man, I'm at this big age and I'm still trying to figure things out. And it's okay, though, because it does make life very interesting.
It does. It does. At any age, there's always something that you're still learning and growing from. And it's never over. Like Elizabeth was saying, like, even going into 2024, I'm still in a learning space. I'm still in a growing space. And you're still going to hit those things. I always thought that, I would turn 50 and I would know. You think you're going to know everything. And I'm like, okay, I got it nailed down. And I find out that I do know a lot of stuff. I know what not to do again. I know how I've become that part, right? I've gotten a lot more resourceful. I know where to find the things that I need when I need them. But as far as, and I have some wisdom that I can depart, But at the same time, I find myself still looking to people who are older than me and even keeping up with some people who are younger than me, much younger, and like, well, what's going on with you guys? Like, what's happening now? It's like, really? That's what's happening? And it keeps you refreshed. And I can tell you this, I do like not having to know everything. I like that I know that I don't know everything, and I can sit in a place of peace knowing that whatever I need and however I need to get it, it's going to happen. And I think that's where I have found the biggest growth, is being okay with sitting in my own truth and my own authenticity. And I know people give a lot of deference to that nowadays, but it really is true. And I really am a lot more open to gaining wisdom and getting information from other places and other sources. That's just where I'm at with that. And like I said, I'm still talking to people who are in their 70s and 80s. I talked to someone the other day who's, she's 80 years old, and she's writing books, and she's lifting weights, and she's doing all these wonderful things. And it was amazing to actually talk to her. And then in the middle of that conversation, we find out that we went to the same elementary school. 30 years apart now. She's in her 80s. I'm in my 50s. And she said, yeah, we went to the same elementary school, some 30 years apart. Amazing. You know what I mean? It's absolutely amazing what I'm still learning and how much I absolutely enjoy learning it. And this is a big part of that process. So with that, what are our words of wisdom? What have we learned? What we got to this point? Think of something.
Ooh, you are funny, Alicia. Mine's is always be faithful in the small things, because in them, that's where you find your strength lies in. And so Mother Teresa will always say that. Always those things. And so that's something that I've learned, and this words of wisdom to go by.
I love that. Wow. When it's all said and done, Jessica?
Mine is done is better than good.
Yes.
I think for artists, but for a lot of people, but for artists, if you go to any of the art schools, we're taught to be perfect. We aim for perfection. I think you see it so much in ballerinas, but you see it so much in ballet dancers, but you see it in all of the artists. And it keeps us from producing things. And if you don't produce things, you have nothing to edit. If you don't produce, you have nothing to make a living from. So just get it done, just get it done. And at this age, because of all the experience I have, my done is good. And that's what I'm trying to remind myself, like, it is good, And so, yeah, done is better than good.
Continue doing what you're doing. I know for myself, there are some things that I wish I could have done with someone. But now that although I'm unable to, that doesn't mean that I can't do it. I wanted a travel companion. Well, I don't have one. I still need to continue to travel. Because if I waited on somebody to travel with me, so I'm going to continue to do the things that I like to do. I'm going to continue to do the things that I want to do. And perhaps while out, although I'm not looking, but while out, somebody may cross my path and say, hey, I like to do those things too. And I'm like, okay, well, let's come join me and let's keep it pushing. But let's keep on going. But you can't just sit still because you don't have anybody to do it with. Because you do have someone to do it. Do it with yourself. Make yourself happy. Take care of yourself. Be there for yourself. Show up for yourself.
I love that. Show up for yourself. And I think we can leave that right where it is. I think that is some beautiful words of wisdom. I think combined, anyone listening to this will walk away richer than they were when they press play. And that's always what my goal is in this podcast. Jessica, tell us about your book so my listeners can hear it.
So it's called The Christmas Adventure, an interactive nativity play for children ages 4 to 8. And it is a book for anybody who wants to do a nativity play, people who don't have a lot of time, people who are not actors. And what's the best part of the book is it only takes 2 hours of rehearsal. The children do not have to attend rehearsal, but they get to act on stage. So it's great. They don't have to memorize any lines. It's great for parents. It's great for kids. And it's great for people who want to put on a great show for children during the holidays.
And where can they get it?
They can get it the book is available on Amazon and that's it.
That is wonderful. And again, those will be, for the listeners, it's also in the show notes. So take a listen, get the book, and thank you guys again. We'll have to do this again.
Yes, part 2. All right.
Thank you for listening to 50 Now What? A special thank you to my friends Jessica, Keisha, and Elizabeth. Be sure to check this episode's show notes to see all the incredible things they're up to. Make sure to follow us, rate, and share the show. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for continuous updates at 50 Now What Podcast. That's 50 Now What Podcast. This podcast was produced by Rainbow Creative with Matthew Jones as senior producer, Stephen Selnick as producer, and Rob Johnson as editor and audio engineer. I love working with this team. To learn more about making a podcast for you or your business, visit them at rainbowcreative.co.